Good morning, folks. Hope you're keeping well. I'm doing very well. About to start my day and feeling good, feeling energetic, all the good stuff. Just a quick reminder to never try to run your body on fat. Your body wants carbs. Your body wants glucose specifically. Fat is clearly a backup fuel. It's a backup. It's a reserve fuel to be tapped into when there's not enough energy coming in. When there's not enough carbohydrate, your body will tap into fat, either the fat you eat or your stored body fat. It isn't your primary fuel. Every single cell in your body wants glucose. It will run on glucose. Even your brain runs on glucose. I'll come back to that point if I remember. But I liken this to like your spending money on a bank account. Your everyday spending money is your carbohydrate. You get through life, you buy your food, you buy petrol for your car. Day to day, you go through your life, you need spending money. The backup, your reserve cash, is your bank account. And you tap into your bank account when you need it. That's the fat. That's what fat is. Fat is your reserve currency to be tapped in only and when you need it. Your primary fuel is carbohydrate. So yes, the brain, because some people say that, our brains can run on ketones if you go on a low carb diet. True to an extent, but it can't run exclusively on ketones. Your brain still needs a little bit of glucose, and it will get it by breaking down protein and converting it to glucose. So gluconeogenesis. And you don't want this to happen, because if you're trying to build muscle, you want your protein you eat to go towards repairing and building muscle. And if it doesn't get it from protein you eat, it'll get it from stored protein, which is muscle tissue. So it'll break your muscle tissue down in order to get the glucose it needs for the essential processes. Just more proof that the body runs on glucose and it wants glucose. So when we eat meals when there's carbs and fat present, the body will always burn carbs first. It's the preferred fuel. It's clean burning, it's easy, it's quick, and the fat will be pushed off into storage, because that's what it does. It's a reserve energy source. Now, some of that fat will come back out and be burned for energy in between meals when there's not enough energy, and also some of that fat will be burned when you're sleeping, which is awesome because there's not enough calories coming in. We all of us will burn some body fat while we sleep, because it's your reserve. It's your backup. Okay? So, think about it like this. The more dietary fat that you consume, the more dietary fat there is there to be used for energy in between meals and when you're sleeping and so on. So your body isn't really tapping into body fat for that. So overall fat balance does not decrease. You want your overall fat balance to decrease, so you lose body fat. By keeping your fat very low in your diet, there's less dietary fat to pull from. So when your body does need fat, when it needs that reserve, it'll pull it from body fat. So your overall fat balance decreases and you lose body fat. That's the result we're after. So at the same time, we can feed our body what it wants, the glucose from carbohydrate, and we can reduce our fat balance by not giving it a lot of fat. It's true we do need fat, and I'll cover this in another video, but the amount of fat that we need to avoid deficiencies and so on, there's only two types we need to cover, omega-3 and omega-6, and it's very easy. And it's very little. There's not a lot of it. You cover this very, very easily. We don't need a bunch of fat in our diets. We just don't. I've been doing this for a couple of years now. I feel the best I've ever felt on any diet. I've done low carb for years, and I do low fat, and it's, folks, there is no comparison. So I guess the takeaway message is this. Carbs are your main fuel source. Fat is a backup reserve currency. And this can be proven. I say this all the time because it's so important. You can actually prove this. A fat biopsy is when body fat is sucked from someone. Okay? When a fat biopsy is performed on a human and that fat is analysed, we can tell where it came from. Okay? We can tell whether it came from dietary fat or it was created de novo. It's a process called de novo lipogenesis, creating fat from carbohydrate. Now, a lot of people are completely misled into thinking that this happens all the time. It's very rarely happens in humans. We are incredibly inefficient at turning carbohydrate into fat. So much so that 98 to 99% of the fat that you've stored on your body came from dietary fat. And for someone saying otherwise, just tell me why almost all of the stored body fat on your body came from dietary fat. Because it did. 1 to 2% of the fat that you have on your body right now came from converted carbohydrate. What are you going to do about that? What are you going to do? The body very rarely turns carbs into fat. The fat that you're wearing came from the fat that you consumed. Why? Because it's a backup energy source. It's your reserve. It puts it into reserve to be used at times when you need it. It's obvious. It is obvious. I like this quote from Dr. Lane Norton because it really hammers this home. Carbs are not stored as fat appreciably, as it only accounts for 1 to 2% of stored fat in adipose. Adipose is body fat. It's a reserve, backup fuel, a backup energy source. You're not supposed to run your body on it. It's there as a reserve. If you keep your fat low, at any time that your body needs fat, then it is forced to then tap into your body fat for energy. This is I've experienced this because my most recent cut, when I cut body fat, was the easiest. It was the lowest fat I've ever went, and it was the easiest cut I've ever done in my life. The fat came off faster, was easier and more enjoyable because I'm eating loads of carbohydrate. So, and that was backed up by a study in 2015 where the groups were fed the exact same calories, but one was high carb, one was high fat with low carbs. And the low fat, high carb group lost almost twice as much body fat than the low carb group. So my personal experience would back that up as well. Anyway, listen, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it, and don't run your body on fat. Body runs on carbs.